The Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank was set up in 2016 to promote broad-based economic and social development through investment in infrastructure and other productive sectors. AIIB is a multilateral development bank with its governance, practice, management similar to the World Bank, ADB, EBRD, all those development institutions.
You're at your annual meeting in Uzbekistan this month. What do you aim to accomplish during that annual meeting?
At the invitation of our member, Uzbekistan, one of the most important partners of this bank, we have the annual meetings and focused on some of the major issues faced by development banks. We would send a strong signal to the outside world that we are here gathering together to discuss important issues such as how can we promote green economy and sustained development? How could we promote digital-based connectivity? And how could we push for regional cooperation and global integration? We aim at building infrastructure in a wider sense of the term. For instance, digital infrastructure, which is very much important, and also, for instance, cross-border connectivity, which means the infrastructure is not simply for the purpose of improving the infrastructure system within connectivity within one country. What is most important for us is to promote regional connectivity through cross-border connectivity. To give you one example, we financed a rural road in Côte d'Ivoire, an African country, far away from Asia. And this rural road could link the people, farmers in remote mountainous areas, and help them ship their agricultural products out of their village and be shipped to the Abidjan port and all the way to Vietnam. Vietnam is a very important country to process cashew. Mobilizing private sector investors to sustain the development through investment in infrastructure is very much important. Now, there is one point I like to highlight. The private sector investors are certainly very much sensitive to risks. They would like to make sure that the investment they made in a particular country would be profitable or would not encounter major problems. Sometimes this is because the business cycle, sometimes because of the policy issues, sometimes the enabling environment for private sector investment needs to be improved. That is why, in order to help individual private sector invested projects to be done in our client countries, we have recently the board approved climate-focused policy-based lending. The idea is to improve the macroeconomic regulatory environment of the countries so that the private sector investors would feel more comfortable investing in a particular country.
Can you give us a concrete example of that, for instance, briefly?
For instance, we recently approved climate-focused policy-based lending to Bangladesh to promote private sector investment in green economy. It is very much important to note that the enabling environment of any developing country is crucial for their green economy. And this is the first project we are working on after the board approved this policy lending. It's not simply a policy lending, cutting a check, giving the money to the government. No, we focus very much on what kind of things the government would have to do to improve the enabling environment. You invite some private sector investors to do a green solar panel project. Where is the transmission line? And normally it would be a long distance transmission. Yesterday, we brought a board to visit in Uzbekistan a solar panel project. This project is 240 megawatt which can provide power to 264,000 households and reducing the emission of carbon dioxide every year by 270,000 metric tons. And this, as you know, solar power plants need to have vast land. This project takes 40 hectares of land. So it will be in certain areas where the land may not be the best for farming, so you can do the solar. And you need transmission out of this area to those areas where electricity is needed. So we can reduce the blackout, brownout, we can reduce the coal burning power generation.
Do you aim to compete with other MDBs or what about partnerships with them? And I'm aware that you do have partnerships with other multilateral development banks like World Bank, right?
There is a vast need for development financing. And when all of the development, more MDBs put their resources together, it's still way below what is needed. As you may know, over the last couple of years, all of the MDBs have closed ranks, and we have heads of MDB meetings at least twice a year, and more than that. We lay our heads together, working on the cooperation, collaboration. We co-finance a lot of projects with other institutions. For instance, with ADB, we financed big number of projects, and with the World Bank, we co-finance projects. So we are not competing with each other. We are working together as a system. We had a project, a $1 billion project, provide a guarantee to the World Bank's portfolio so that World Bank could release its capital, recycle its capital to do new projects. And so far as AIIB is concerned, we could improve the quality of our assets by the guarantee program. Thereby, we can do more in lower rated countries. So the cooperation among the AMDBs has been wonderful. We got triple rating from the 3 rating companies only 17 months into operation. And some people ask us the question of, how could you do that? 17 months into operation, you have no track record. Now, our answer is, first of all, the rating companies look at the governance. Our governance is similar to that governance of other multilateral institutions. We have a board of governors, we board of directors, and a management. And secondly, the rating companies look at the team. The senior management members. We have the executive committee, and also the way we process projects. We manage financing, investment of financial resources, and operations preparation. I'm the only Chinese in the executive committee.
As we're talking about the chain of command there, your term ends in 2026. What do you hope to accomplish by then? And can you say who comes after you?
I just have the fireside chat with the board this morning, and I told them I would continue to do my utmost in the remaining months of my time, of my mandate in this institution, roughly 15 months. I assure them I will continue to my very best to ensure the smooth transition. But as you know, we have the Articles of Agreement indicating that the president should be an Asian national, and the president should be selected and elected on the basis of fair competition. It's merit-based.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a Chinese national, right? Because you've got 100 countries there that are voting.
The president must be an Asian national, and selected on basis of competition, open competition.
the world has set ambitious goals in the next few years to cut emissions and fight climate change. And I know AIIB is working hard on that, but do you think we can make it? Will we hit the goal of trying to keep the global warming to 1.5?
As a multilateral development bank, we do what it takes to promote financing for climate change mitigation adaptation. And as you know, I often highlight the point that when we finance infrastructure for tomorrow, it's not the infrastructure financing some people sold decades ago. We actually have infrastructure investment and climate financing be closely interlaced. When we finance mass transit systems, this is to reduce the emissions. When we finance renewables, and power transmission, and all this kind of infrastructure projects would be conducive to transition to net zero for many of our countries. So this is what we are doing, and we are doing our utmost. I believe as long as all of the MDBs continue to work as a system, as long as we can mobilize private sector resources, we can achieve the objective. I'm optimistic.
Jin Liqun, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.